One of the main things we teach at Arbud is awareness. The more aware you are of what's going on around you, the better prepared you are to deal with anything that should occur. If you have zero awareness, and if you don't really live in the real world, you're pretty much setting yourself up for something bad to happen. With that in mind, I thought today's clip would look at celebrities getting mugged. These are people who do live in their own little world. Many of them are so self-centered they think the world revolves around them, and then they're amazed when bad things happen. So I'm not saying everybody that I'll talk about today is a horrible person, but I would put money on it that if we were to do a recreation and walkthrough, we could stop the attack before it happened. Fashion designer Nicole Fari, I think it is, was mugged for her jewellery on her doorstep by two men at knife point. That happened in, just check my notes, that happened in 2008. Two men mugged her for her jewellery at knife point on her doorstep. A big problem a lot of us have is as soon as we get to our front door or as soon as we get to our car, we immediately switch off. It's kind of like when you're a child and you're playing a game, it's like you've got a safe zone. As long as you're touching the wall, you can't be out. We have that same type of mentality when we get in a car. As soon as we get in a car, we close the door, we go, okay, I'm safe now. We don't think to lock the door. As soon as we approach our front door, well, we're home now, we're home. We don't need to still be switched on. So that happened to her. I know in 2009, Rachel Stevens had her engagement ring robbed off her on her doorstep when she got home after a day of shopping because she was followed by, I think it was three men. Were they just passing by, or had they been following her the entire day out and said, "That's Rachel Stevens. She's got some cash. Let's follow her till she's no longer around people and she's not switched on, and then we can see what we can get from her." Who else have I got? Usher. I quite like the two stories about Usher. In 2010, his car was broken into while he shopped, and they stole a whole bunch of clothes and electronics and money from his car. The combined cost of the jewelry, clothes, and electronics and money that they took from his car was $1 million. A part of me has to ask what anyone is doing with $1 million, $1 million worth of anything in the car. It's ridiculous. One of the things you'll be told when you go to any car park, wherever it is, especially at arenas or big shopping centres, it will say somewhere, there'll be a sign saying, "Don't leave your valuables on display." This is why, if you leave your valuables on display, people will steal them. Simple as that. The one I really like was 2018. Usher's home was broken into. They took $820,000 worth of jewellery and money, and they took the security footage. Yeah, if you are going to have a security system in your home, make sure that it's not located on the premises. So if you've got a camera going, make sure that that feed is being recorded to a cloud. Make sure it's being going to somewhere outside of the actual property, because if you've just got a system set up that's in the living room, and someone breaks in, they'll they'll steal the security footage as they did with Usher. In 1994, Alexandra Heseltine had an £8,000 Rolex watch stolen off her whilst she sat in traffic in Kensington in West London. Again, as soon as you get in the car, lock the door. You don't need the windows all the way down to get a through breeze. It's actually cooler for you if you have the windows maybe halfway down, but have on both sides, rather than having one window all the way down. She was just sat in traffic and someone chanced it. Well, I mean, if you're sat waiting for the light, you should be paying attention to what's going on around you. You should always be in a code yellow when you're driving anyway. But don't get in the habit of, okay, we're at a light, I can just switch off. I'm sure many of you, if not all, if you've been driving, you've got to a light, or you've even been passing, where someone has had to beep because the guy at the front hasn't noticed that the lights have changed to green. This shows that we're not switched on, we're not aware, he's not aware of his surroundings, he's just drifted off into his own little dream world. and that's when bad things happen. Three that I want to hit on. Back in 2018, Michael McIntyre was very famously mugged for his watch by a moped crew. The research I've done on this recently, because it happened about a year ago, happened last year in June, I think. I'm going to do a separate video just on the Michael McIntyre incident. Just because of the way they followed him, the way it was set up, what everybody did that was incorrect. I think it deserves its own little video. What people don't know is that following that, I think it was either the week before or the week after, Lee Francis also had his watch stolen by a moped crew. Unfortunately, because it was Lee Francis, no one really paid attention. Had they used the name Keith Lemon, it probably would have got more coverage. Back in June 17th of 2013, Helen Flanagan's home was burgled because she tweeted that her football player partner Scott Sinclair had left, and she tweeted something along the lines of, "I can't wait for him to get home. I feel awful being alone here." So people knew the house, and they now know that she's home alone. And wouldn't you know it, some people broke in and stole a whole bunch of jewelry and her mobile phone. That could have been avoided had she not felt the need to tell the world that she was alone. If you do feel lonely, then text a friend or a family member. Don't announce it on social media. Don't let the world know that you're alone. There's a separate video that I'll be doing with when to actually upload pictures and tell people what you're up to and where you are. The main one that I think is worth pointing out is the Kim Kardashian robbery that happened in Paris on October the 3rd, 2016. So, for at least a day prior to this, Kim Kardashian had been updating her Instagram with close-up pictures of all the jewellery, including one that I've seen where she's wearing a ring that was worth about £3 million. And she's got it right up to the camera, and this is worth $3 million, blah 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 blah. What the group that robbed her did was they followed her Instagram, and they said, okay, this is worth this much, that was worth that much, this piece is worth this much. She's got roughly, the prices varied between, but it was regularly between $8 million and $10 million excuse me, worth of jewelry. They knew this. They then looked at the other pictures she'd put, where she put pictures of herself getting ready. So they Googled hotels in Paris, waited for the pictures to come up of different hotels' websites. They matched the decor. They tracked her to her hotel. They just went in bold as brass wearing police uniforms and said, yeah, we're her security. The hotel staff messed up severely by saying, oh yeah, I'll take you up now. Her personal bodyguard, who I think was Pascal de Vries, or de Vries, it was one of them, it might have been Duvea. Pascal Duvea, I think was his name. He was at a nightclub with the other sisters. So he failed on that point. He failed by not liaising with the hotel staff to say, we're not expecting any police to come with us, we're not expecting anybody to come with us, don't let anybody up. The hotel staff failed by not phoning up the police station and saying, have you just sent a crew of people? If they are going to send a crew of people, make sure you get names from everybody so that you can then phone up the police station and double check. Make sure the people who show up have got ID. Her security detail, her bodyguard who disappeared, should have maybe suggested, don't post all this stuff online right now. Post it tomorrow, post it a few days after, once we're done and we've gone home. A lot of people fell down at a lot of different points in that. But everybody is unanimous in saying it could have been avoided had she not posted where she was and how much her jewellery was worth. There will be another clip coming shortly about victim blaming, because I know where you're going. There comes a time when it's not victim blaming, it's asking adults to behave responsibly. It's asking grown-ups to take responsibility for their own actions. These types of attacks have happened with incredibly famous people. These attacks have happened, some of them with people just walking home on the street or driving home. If someone can get close enough to a celebrity without any witnesses, then someone can get close enough to a regular everyday person. Don't assume members of the public will help you. Don't assume members of the public will be paying attention to you. If they're not paying attention to people they recognise, you'll just fade. You'll be grey. They won't even remember who you are. They certainly won't remember the people that attacked you. We must take responsibility for our own actions. We must be aware of who or what is around us and what's going on. So that's basically the point of this clip. Famous people who are in the world's eye get mugged, robbed, burgled every single day. The same will happen to you. Don't expect anyone to help you. Be aware of your surroundings, and please stay safe.